Alright, sorry people, movie fans especially, that this review is a little out of date, I'm sure. This is concerning the new Man of Steel film, which I highly anticipated. Yeah, I actually put it #1 on my list. I was really that desperate to see a really good adaptation of the Man of Steel himself. So, here goes. First of all, this film is directed by Zack Snyder. I wasn't too thrilled hearing that it was directed by the same guy who did 300, Watchmen, and Sucker Punch, considering most of those movies were not so great. I mean, I like 300. It had a lot of CG effects and it was a little over the top, but it was, it was still an entertaining, gore fest, even though all the blood was animated. Watchmen was pretty long, pretty damn boring. Sucker Punch was okay, I guess. More watchable than Watchmen, not as long, I guess, considering it's not 3 hours, but honestly, I wasn't too thrilled about hearing the name Zack Snyder, and I'm sure everybody else was not, and I was like, really? They couldn't just get Christopher Nolan to direct it? I mean, he did the Dark Knight trilogy, we all know that, and those 3 movies were as successful as you can ask for. But, hearing that he's producing this film, it kind of had me have some hope into this movie. But either way, the trailers, first trailer I remember seeing as far back as seeing The Dark Knight Rises. Looked okay, a couple of close-up shots in it, and then more trailers popped up when I saw, I believe, The Hobbit. Yeah, it looked a lot better. So I said, it's probably worth it. And sure enough, I went to see it after some rather mixed reception from critics, but fans applauded it a lot better than critics did. And I gotta say, yeah, I'd say well done. It's a good Superman movie. I mean, it depends what you're expecting. If you're expecting a film that pays a lot of attention to its source material properly like it should, it's pretty damn good. Yeah, I'd say all the actors did their part very well. It shows at the beginning the Kryptonite planet, dying and Superman being sent out. I mean, if you read comics and everything, you couldn't ask for a better adaptation. And I'd say some of the flashbacks are a little bit, kind of jumps the gun. Some of the scenes do get a little jumpy, but I'd say it masters itself really well. Critics did complain that it takes itself a little bit too seriously, and like the Batman films, how can you complain? It tries not to be too much like the comics, but then again, it really wants to be. Otherwise, it's not a real Superman movie. And what's wrong with being too serious? Sometimes being serious is better than being a little too campy. It does have a little bit of campiness involved in it, but it tries to show of how somebody with his, type of kryptonite powers can live on Earth and adapt to such a society. And I'm also kind of glad, though, that, Lex Luthor isn't in this yet. I'm sure he's going to be in one of the sequels, but, I'm kind of glad. I know he's the main villain of Superman, like the Joker is with Batman, but I'm kind of glad they were more open-minded to other villains and characters. I'm hoping maybe the next film they get Doomsday in here. But I would say, yeah, it was very well done. Some parts can be a little slow, but for the most part, I'd say it was pretty well paced. I'd say towards the end of the film, when it gets to the last 20 minutes, possibly, it kind of felt like it could have been cut down by maybe 10 to 15 minutes, perhaps. I don't mean to really spoil anything, but yeah, when you get to the last fight scene between him and General Zod, I kind of felt as if it just went on too long. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a lot of action. I like action in a movie, and that's what makes a good comic book movie, but I just felt they dragged on too long. You're just like, okay, come on, just get to the point already. And, and I was kind of hoping there wouldn't be too much slow motion, considering it's a Zack Snyder film, and I was like, oh, great, how much slow motion is going to be in this movie? Is it going to be a lot? And I guess Christopher Nolan helped out a lot. Thank you very much, man. You were the best. Anyways, but yeah, otherwise the length maybe should have been cut down a little bit. The 3D, yeah, skip the 3D. Not worth it. Save the extra $5 for a bag of popcorn or something. I would say in IMAX it's good, sound quality wise, but 3D is not worth it. Trust me. And, oh, okay. And I know this is there to follow the comic books, but really, the glasses, yes. Sorry to spoil it, but just like in the comic books, he becomes the news reporter for the Daily Planet. and they just had to go with the glasses. I mean, how could people not realize that's not Clark Kent? I mean, really, the freaking glasses. And I know I'm not amongst minority on this, but how stupid do they think we are? I mean, really. I know it's just a movie, but I'd say that's one of the worst disguises ever. But, hey, who am I to complain? It's still a very entertaining movie. Definitely go see it. I would definitely say it's better than that boring, long, and drabby Superman Returns by a mile. Critics praise that movie, but you know what? Us fans of Superman, we didn't like it very much. Boring, garbage. Believe me, this one is the reboot that Superman deserves. Trust me. Go see it. My opinion, it's a lot of fun, but a little bit too long. So, well, I'd have to work back to my original location to give the Wii Remote review. So Man of Steel, final verdict. One Wii Remote Wii Motion Plus up, and one plain Wii Remote up. I think that's fair enough. So, till next time, keep watching.
Get over here!